Hello everyone, this is Steve. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the what-if analysis form. What-if analysis is one of my favorite metrics and reporting capabilities in BDSS. It shows you what your average and other key metrics would have been if some or all of your spares were picked up. This is a great way for you to see the impact of missed spare opportunities, or even better, for a coach to show his students the impact on scores and total average for not picking up convertible spares. What if analysis is a tab off of the metrics and reporting form. I encourage you to first review the video Metrics and Reporting Part 1, as it will demonstrate how to get to metrics and reporting, as well as using some of the common filtering features used by all the reports within metrics and reporting. What if analysis is available for league, tournament, and open bowl, and the process is the same for all. For this demonstration, I will use a league called Thursday Strikers. So let's get started. From the Home Forum navigation menu, choose League to take you to Manage League. Under League, choose Thursday Strikers. And under Actions to Take, I'm going to choose League Metrics and Reporting. And I'm going to select Week 1 and click Perform Action. This will take you to a form where you select the bowler for whom you want to run the metrics, and I'm going to choose Steve, and then click Fetch League Data. And by default, Metrics and Reporting opens to the Recap tab. Click What If Analysis tab. Like other forums on metrics and reporting, What If Analysis uses the selected game owner, frame owner, game format, and scope as its initial filtering. You will see What If Analysis performs analysis on both game and frame metrics. All game metrics are related to the game owner, while frame metrics relate to the frame owner. Scope defines the bowl level to perform the analysis on, with possible choices of game, series, this league, or all bowling, and game format tells what if analysis to only use regular games bowled, no tap games bowled, or both. Again, I encourage you to watch the video Metrics and Reporting Part 1 to better understand the purpose of game owner, frame owner, scope, and game format. To best demonstrate what if analysis, I'm going to select a scope of this league. What if analysis has only 3 fields that must be entered. The most important is what if criteria. This is the only field that does not default, and you must enter it before the apply push button is enabled and you can run what if analysis. So let's click it, and a form will open where you will specify which missed spares you want the analysis to be performed on. Basically, this is asking you, which missed spares do you want to assume you made in order to see what your average and other metrics would have been? Looking down the line, the most common choice will be all spares. This says, assume all missed spares were picked up. What would my average be? Next is track spares. I'll demonstrate this a little later, but essentially what this does is allow you to tag or track missed spares while scoring a game for later what-if analysis. If I select this option, only missed spares that I tagged for tracking will be assumed for converted for analysis. Next is spare counts. This says, perform a what-if analysis for any missed spares that had a count of 9, or 8 or 9, or 7, 8 or 9, or 6, 7, 8 or 9. And the last option is pinfalls. This says perform what-if analysis for any missed spares where a 5 pin was left, or a 7 pin was left, or a 10 pin was left, or a 4-7 was left, or a 6-10 pin was left, or you can select a custom pin selection. For example, I'll choose the 3-6-10 and click Set. And as you can see, you can choose multiple selections in the pinfall group. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to select all spares and click OK. The criteria percentage field allows you to select the approximate percentage of missed spares to use for what-if analysis. For example, if you choose all spares as your criteria, but then select a criteria percentage of 50%, The what-if analysis will perform calculations assuming 50% of all missed spares were converted. Choices are 100%, 75%, 50%, and 25%. I'm going to leave it at 100% for now. And then there's the Exclude Splits checkbox. When checked, what if analysis will not include missed spares that were splits in the conversion. This allows you to understand what your average would have been if you would have picked up all your, quote, makeable spares, unquote. For now, I'm going to leave it unchecked to include all spares. And then once you set all parameters, you click the Apply, and BDSS will perform the what if analysis. And just give it a few seconds. And the first thing you see is the summary. And it says, actually, let's make this a little bigger. Under the selected league scope, if 100% of all spares were converted by Steve Bowler, there would be an additional 118 spares converted, 110 less frames open, and an average increase from 205.5 to 224.76. Next, if you go down the line and see the actual versus what if analysis for several metrics, if you take a look at average, this is saying Steve's actual league average is 205.5, but if Steve picked up 100% of his spares, it would have been 224.76, a delta of 19.26 pins. And then you can review the remaining metrics. High game would have been the same. Low game would have went from 153 to 188, a delta of 35. Series would have went from 763 to 775. Low series 512 to 601. Spares converted would have went from 186 out of 304 to 304 out of 304. Spares converted, excluding splits, would have went from 180 over 224 to 224 over 224. Frames open would have went from 110 to 0. Clean games would have went from 9 to 65. And single pin conversions would have went from 125 out of 145 to 145 out of 145. Game 1 average would have went from 202 to 222. Game 2 average would have went from 209 to 228. And Game 3 average would have went from 205 to 223. And just to see what happens when you change the parameters, let's set percentage to 75%. And you read the summary, and it says, under the selected league scope, if approximately 75% of all spares were converted by Steve Bowler, there would have been an additional 91 spares converted, 86 less frames open, and an average increase of 205.5 to 220.52. Then you could do the same for 50 and 25% if you want. Now let me show you what it means to apply what-if analysis on track spares. So let's go to the Game Scores tab. And you can see on Game 1, Frame 2, it's an open frame. So let's click Game 1 to take us to the bowl form for this frame. And on Frame 2, long press to bring up a menu of options, and you'll see an option for Track for What-If Analysis. Click that, and you'll see the frame number turned red and a question mark is also added to the frame number. This indicates this missed spare will be tracked for what if analysis. So now let's go back to what if. We'll bring up the criteria form and select tracked spares. Click OK, and now click Apply. And if you read the summary, it says, under the selected league scope, If approximately 75% of the tracked spares were converted by Steve Bowler, there would be an additional one spare converted, one less frame open, and an average increase from 205.5 to 205.67. So you can see, what if analysis found the one spare I tracked and used it to perform the what if calculation. And for awareness, if you want to find all frames that are tagged for what if analysis, you can use the Find Frames dynamic report and add a filter criteria on Is What If Tracked. For more information on dynamic reporting, please review the video Metrics and Reporting Part 2. And finally, one other item. For a scope of league only, you can trend average and game average for a what if versus actual comparison. Just click the chart image in the average or game average row. So in this example, I'll click the image on the average row, and it opens a trend form, and you'll see a green line is the actual average, and the blue line is the what if average. Okay, so that's it for what if analysis. I suggest you play with it. I really think you're going to like this feature. I hope this helped. Please send any questions to tbefeedback@gmail.com and have a great day.